Easiest would be just including recommended tier 7s or recommended tier 6s and then ranking the tier 7s. Because why would you voluntarily play tier 6 when you can play tier 7? Because ultimately, if you're playing tier 6 in ranked, it's either because A, you're a fucking dumbass, which means you haven't watched any guides anyways, or B, it's because you're grinding the ship and you don't give a shit if the ship is garbage. Those are the only two reasons why you're playing tier 6 in ranked. Like that's pretty much it. End of discussion. So we might as well pick the recommended ships that can compete at tier 7. Tier 6 ships that can compete, and then we kind of ignore the rest, because why would you play them? So let's see. Let's see, DD wise. It would be probably be Shinonome would probably, let's see, let's start. I assume that was the reason for every T5 cruiser in some bronze, basically. Shinonome can probably compete. Shinonome is a pretty spicy little ship. It can probably compete with tier 7s pretty well, actually. Shinonome has 8 km hard-hitting torps that reload pretty fucking quick. I think it's got pretty decent conceal as well. Shinonome is probably like, if you throw it against tier 7s, it'll probably be like a B tier pick. You won't play any of these if you're human. Ise, it's hybrid, it can spot. Fusô is probably like, if you're HE, Fusô is pretty decent when up tiered. Fusô is pretty decent when up tiered, so you can probably play Fusô and not feel too guilty, because it's actually quite well armored, provided you don't get broadside, and it pumps out a lot of HE DPM. And the AP isn't bad either. Ise, honestly, you can spot. You're a battleship that can spot for itself, but ultimately you don't really fulfill any battleship's roles. I think it's a C tier as well. CVs I'm not even going to rank. CVs are obviously going to be hilariously powerful if you have hands. Like if you have any capacity, it's going to be pretty goddamn strong. Mutsu, I don't know why you'd play Mutsu or Nagato. No reason. I don't see why you would do that. Dallas, no. Pepsi Cola. It's got the armor buff, but why would you play it or New Orleans? You wouldn't. It's just too vulnerable. Arizona, no. Why would you play it? New Mexico, no. Why would you play it? West Virginia, the guns are nice, but you can play Colorado instead, which punch much harder. So why would you play West Virginia or Colorado? You wouldn't. Rangers, CB again. Farragut, nice DPM. Why would you play it or Mahan? Monahan, no. Ginevni, no. Budionni is a pretty decent cruiser for its tier. Why would you play it? Makarov, I mean, you might play it because it's the only premium you have because you got scammed. Molotov, no. Ismail is actually a pretty good ship. But, thank you, Wizuki. But on the other hand, SinOP exists. SinOP exists, and SinOP is broken. So why would you play it? Novorossisk. Was this the what was this? The shitty Julius Caesar or something? I can't remember what it was, but no. Serap, CV, of course, it's gonna be good. Gaeta, no. Schönenberg, no. T61. T61 is actually really goddamn good, and it's probably gonna be even A tier against tier 7s because it's so goddamn good. T61 is just hilariously strong. Also, you gotta remember, if you queue up in a tier 6 DD, you force the enemy team to have a tier 6 DD as well. Like, it tries to match tier for tier. So, you might queue up in a T61, and the enemy might be queuing up in a Gnevny, or some Hatsuharu, or some equally dented shit like that. So, you can dumpster them. If it was full tier 6 matchmaking, then T61 would be an easiest tier. Easiest tier. But considering there's tier 7 ships, it only makes it up to A. Graf Spee. I mean, once again, if tier 7 wasn't there, it would be much stronger. But I mean, this is Graf Spee is technically a somewhat viable choice for ranked. It's actually still kind of tanky against tier 7s as well. But would you play it? Or considering you can play York instead, you probably wouldn't play it, no. Because York has so much better everything. York exists, and York is actually quite good these days. No. Nuremberg, once again, no, York exists. Bayern, when you can play Gneisenau, which is the fastest German battleship in the game. No. Mackensen, no, you can play Heinrich. Levenhardt is going to be really good. Gallant, no, you're not going to play it. Devonshire, no. No. Dido, no. Lander, no. Fiji exists. London, no. Queen Elizabeth, no. KGV exists. Now, no. Repulse might be... Repulse is fast as hell. Repulse might be pretty good. Repulse is stealthy and it's fast as hell. It's got good guns. I would say this is a battleship you can bring as a tier 6 and still not be a victim. Warspite, oh, the guns is so nice. But man, it's slow. It's slow. It's slow. Repulse is kind of a Warspite, but scales better into up tier, because Warspite is such a slow, fat chunker. I love the Warspite, don't get me wrong, but with CVs and up tiered being up tiered, Warspite is gonna suffer. Warspite is just gonna suffer, I think. Maybe it's like a D tier pick battleship. But it's sussy to bring into tier 7. Sussy. Fury, Egle, Vacquelin exists. Gepard, De Grasse, Garcier, Dunkirk, no. Especially against tier 7s. Dunkirk is hilariously bad against tier 7s because there's so many ships that overmatch you. So your entire nose-in tankiness goes out the window. Normandy, why would you play that when Leon exists? Bern, Avier, Leone. Like, the only ships that make it here for tier 6 is something that... ships that bring something unique. But otherwise, why would you play them or the tier 7? You wouldn't. I don't know. Anshan, Fushun. No, Gadjah Mada exists. Huanghe. No, there's... Why would you play Huanghe with that DPM? Once again, tier 7s exist. You gotta remember radars are brought with tier 6. Westeros, no. Kukdu, no. Mysore, no. Perth. Perth is pretty goddamn cracked. Perth makes it into... I'd say Perth into B tier, probably. Perth does well against tier 7s. Perth does well. Warspite is only one notch slower than Ise or Fusô. Yeah, Ise brings the planes, which is a form of spotting, but more importantly, I can show you... Let's see, Warspite. Where's Warspite? I'm blind. There it is. Like, look at this armor. It's 26 millimeters everywhere. Straight up everywhere. 26 millimeters. It's hard to Citadel, but it eats massive chunks from goddamn everywhere. Like, it's just massive chunks everywhere. It's 26 all over the ship. Whereas in comparison, where's our Fusô? Fusô has this shit going for it. It's got 35 and it's got an icebreaker. And Fusô can't be Citadel close range basically at all. It can only be Citadel from range. So Fusô just survives HE spam and being up tiered much better because it doesn't get overmatched to Kingdom Come. Whereas Warspite just gets crushed by the overmatch. Completely crushed. He has better heal, yeah, but it's still kind of suffering now. It's still... Don't get me... I love the Warspite, okay? Look, I love the Warspite. I fucking love Warspite as a ship, and I've played it a ridiculous amount. But like, shh, yeah, I don't want to be stuck in this thing against higher tier battleships. Okay, what else do we have? No. Basically, no across the board. But yeah, Perth probably makes it up here. I wonder what Perth DPM. Wonder how high it gets. Perth DPM is probably pretty competitive. Where the hell is Perth? There it is. 134k. Yeah, that's pretty good. More than Surrey, more than New Orleans, more than York, more than Algerie. Yeah, it beats a lot of tier 7s in DPM, the Perth. Plus, of course, it has the smoke, and the crawling smoke, and concealment. So, it's pretty nasty at what it does. Maybe it's a C tier, considering it's competing with tier 7s. If this was full tier 6, Perth would be A tier, because it would be that strong. But against tier 7s, and with radar and shit in the game, it drops. It drops. Right, that would be the tier 6s. The only ones I could see myself bring, and where I would rank them against tier 7 ships. What about premiums being more powerful? Yeah, of course they are. Of course they're better. Well, it depends on how much, like, what you're willing to invest. If you pick one ship and you move a captain to it, investing for a ranked season isn't that big of a deal. It depends on how many ships you want. Akatsuki Shiratsuyu. Okay, Shira was the better concealment and the better torpedo boat. Akatsuki had slightly better guns, but it wasn't much. It was 103k. That's pretty shit DPM, honestly. That's pretty shit. Akatsuki actually has better torpedo DPM, though. Akatsuki actually has the highest torpedo DPM. Interesting. What's the concealment on the Aka? Oh, it's pretty shit. It's actually one of the worst. 7.2. Not one of the worst, but pretty fucking bad. It's a better torpedo boat, but it has no concealment. That's pretty brutal. Where would you put Akatsuki? Hello? Please. Maybe a C tier DD? Because you're a torpedo boat without concealment. That's kind of fucked. Because there's gonna be ships that outspot you and outgun you. Yeah, that's pretty fucked. Shiratsuyu is probably gonna rate higher just because Shiratsuyu has dentedly good concealment. Like, Shiratsuyu concealment is what, 5.8 I think it was? Wasn't it 5.8? I think it was 5.8. Which is like giga good. It's very, very, very strong. Where's our Shiratsuyu? Where's our Shiratsuyu? Here it is. Yeah, let's see. 35.7 concealment, 5.8. That's so good. 5.8 at tier 7. That might be one of the best, except for basically Haida. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, that's the best except for Haida. Haida's concealment makes no sense, but whatever. Yeah. It's smoke or torpedo reload booster, yes. But yeah, Shira for the concealment, it's hard to deal with the Shira. It just outspots you all the time. Yudachi is kind of like worse than all of these. The torps are a meme, the gunpowder is a meme. Maya is really good. What did Maya have? Reload booster, heal. It's like an A tier cruiser, easy, I think. Maya, I really like the Maya. Maya is very good. Myôkô, not as good as Maya. It lacks the sustain. Like C tier maybe. It's pretty tanky. That's it. It's pretty tanky and that's good. But besides that, There's 2 torp arcs aside. I'm pretty sure I have the Maya. It's quite strong. Let's see. It's equipment. Yeah, look at that. Heal, reload booster, Hydra. Jesus. And it had 4x4 torps that deal 21k a pop. La Mao. Yeah, no. Maya is very good. The Maya is the ship I killed the entire enemy team in rank. It might even be S tier, honestly. It's so good. It might even be S tier as a cruiser. I think the DPM brings it down, though. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, our DPM awful. Yeah, I think the DPM brings it down. I think in DPM is the only thing keeping her out of S. What's our HE DPM? Yeah, it's shit. It's complete shit. It's worse than London. That's the big downside. I like it, but DPM it does not have. Where do you get it from? Money, of course. Ashitaka. Ashitaka probably isn't that bad against this tier at our matches. Maybe even a B tier battleship, Ashitaka. It's like a tier 7 Amagi. But the thing is, it has a big citadel, and the overmatch doesn't actually help it at all. Like, it doesn't overmatch anything that the other ships can't overmatch. I don't know. Is the B tier or is the C tier B or C? I guess we put it B, considering we have a lot of C tier ships here, tier 6. Hyûga. Hyûga is very good. Wasn't that the reload booster battleship? That's like an A tier BB, probably. It likes overmatch, but Hyûga does. Wasn't Hyûga the reload booster a really good dispersion one? Hyûga is. Hyûga was, I remember, was very strong. Reload booster is. You have the Hyûga here? Yeah, but here it is. Yeah, it was what? 12 guns with 29-second reload. And a goddamn reload booster on top. Yeah, this thing was pretty insane. That thing was pretty insane. Nagato. Probably Ashitaka tier, honestly. Nagato has a lot of health. It's quite squishy though. It's misleadingly squishy. Where's our Nagato? I don't have Nagato? Interesting. I haven't rebought Nagato. Oh. Yeah, but it's got a fair bit of guns, smashing guns as well. Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta is a hard hand scaler. This means if you're bad at the game, it's D tier. If you're good at the game, maybe A tier, honestly. Considering you're facing tier 6 planes as well, it's pretty decent at that. I don't know if it's A or B. Very scaling based on hands, honestly. If you're good, it's an A, that's what I'm thinking. It's a high skill ceiling ship though. It has no range and it's vulnerable as hell. It's radar at tier 7, yeah. I think we put it in the A. But disclaimer on Atlanta. If you struggle to stay alive in cruisers, you're not going to enjoy playing Atlanta. Boise is pretty goddamn good. Not quite as good as that, but I think easy B tier. Flint, easier to play than Atlanta, but not quite as powerful. I'd say B tier. Flint can be very strong, but it's more reliant on the enemy team making mistakes compared to Atlanta that can make plays. Even Flint is much easier to play though, because you don't need to position well in Flint, because you got smoke. Helena is very fucking good. Helena is A or S, honestly. I think the only thing keeping it from S is, I don't know. It might even be S, honestly. Helena's damage is so dumb. Helena's damage is so dumb. It might honestly be S tier, just for the damage alone. It has no radar, which is the problem. It has no radar. But like, Helena's DPM is really good. But it's not, I mean, Atlanta is much better and Flint is better. I don't think we can put it in S if Atlanta is here. Yeah. No, I think we should put it here. It doesn't have radar, the Chronicle. It doesn't have radar, Helena. Helena is busted? No, it doesn't have radar. It's got insane DPM, which much flatter arcs than Atlanta or Flint. It does stupid amounts of damage, but I don't think it's an S tier. Not if we put Atlanta in A. Indianapolis, it's got radar, but honestly the ship itself is pretty suffering. Very matchmaking dependent. It's got a 10 km radar, which is very strong. I don't know. It's like B maybe. Maybe B for the radar. It's 10 km radar. Honestly, the ship itself, though, despite the radar can win you games. But if you're forced to fight anything on your own, you kind of struggle. Unless you get to smash someone with the AP. I don't know. Indianapolis is a tough one. It might be C, honestly. New Orleans doesn't have the radar. It kind of shits on a lot of cruisers, though. I think that might be a B as well. It handles well and shits on a lot of cruisers. It's goddamn stealthy as well. California is slow as sin, doesn't have any overmatch. I don't really see any point for it, especially when Florida exists. I feel bad for California, that ship got power creeped fast. Colorado, objectively better than California just for the overmatch. Honestly, Colorado guns are pretty goddamn good. It's hella slow though, which might put it into C tier. The guns might put it into B though, but it's so slow, it's so slow. It's so slow. The speed is... Florida is pretty goddamn good. Florida might be A tier, honestly. It lacks any sort of tankiness or brawling though. But it's fast and it's got battlecruiser dispersion. It has no armor. I don't know if it's B or A. The guns are very consistent though compared to many of the other BBs. It's got defensive AA. I guess that gives it's got defensive AA and strong AA, especially against tier 6s. It can defend itself. I guess that puts it into A tier. It sucks against other BBs though. Like that's a big problem for the Florida. If you're forced to fight other BBs in the Florida, you're straight up a victim. Like I'm not even joking. Like look at this armor. Fully overmatchable 25mm nose, 26mm here. All of this are matchable, and the citadel behind it, this is all citadel. This is not just the citadel, but this thing up here is the citadel. So you can get citadel through the nose easily. If you get broadside, 285mm armor means battleship will citadel you across the map, and the citadel is huge. So, yeah. I think it still earns A for the gun performance, and the fact that it's very fast, 28.4. It's fast, and the guns are really good. Really, we're running rudder and not prop on it. Why are we running rudder and not prop? Probably because the turning circle is so good, and we wanted to get the... Oh, it's pretty... The rudder is pretty bad without rudder. I'm not sure about this choice. I must have had a reason for putting it. Still, I mean... Florida won't be an easy ship to play. Once again, it's kind of up here the same way Atlanta is up here. Don't suck. Don't suck if you're going to have an A-tier ship. Mahan? Easy A-tier. Easy A-tier. Mahan's gun DPM is hilariously broken. Is it the... I don't know if it's S. I'm not sure if it's A or S. It's A because of gun power, but the concealment on it is suffering. The concealment on it is suffering. It's 7.4 conceal, which puts you at, what, 6.6? I don't think it's S tier because of the conceal. Like, if you have to deal with someone who's angled away from you, who doesn't just doesn't want to fight you, who just spots you. It's really good against DDs dumb enough to go nose in towards you or fight you, which is honestly the majority of enemy DDs in ranked. But if you actually face someone with hands who refuses to take the fight, the concealment is brutal to deal with. Yeah, it's almost 1 kilometer worse concealed than Haida. You run into something like an angled Shira or angled Haida who just kites when you try to push in and spots you. You don't get to take the fights you want. I'd put it in S if it could fight anything at will, but honestly, if you fight a good DD in Mahan, you can kind of suffer. You can kind of suffer. The DPM on it is great. No, but I mean, Mahan's DPM is just not very good. Like, honestly, it's Vequelin, Leningrad, Sims, Akatsuki, Jervis, Z31, Huron, Skåne, Gadjah, all of these outspotted. It's, in fact, the only thing the Mahan outspots is the Minsk, Bliska, Liberecht, Maass, and Z39, which are all super tanky gunboats. And it outspots those by 100 meters. So... yeah. The conceal is something that handless people will suffer. I don't think it's that straightforward. Like, if you try to contest the cap and there's just some angled asshole who refuses to take the fight and just spots you, it's tough to deal with. Because Mahan how fast was Mahan? Yeah, Mahan is only 35 knots base. That makes it almost one of the slowest DDs in the game. Running down a DD that's just kiting you and outspotting you can absolutely suffer. be suffering. The slow speed and lack of conceal puts it in A tier. If it was purely gunpowder based, it would be S. But, yeah. No conceal relies more... Yeah, exactly what Astra said. It relies more on the fact that the guy you're fighting has to be potato. More than your own performance. Sims... If you're picking Sims, you're not actually looking to win. You're just looking to save a star. C tier, I guess. Good thing ranked isn't competitive. True. Leningrad, I'd say it's decent gunpowder, decent torps, decent speed. But honestly, maybe we put it B. Because Minsk goes into C. Because Minsk is just the worst Leningrad with worse torps. Leningrad is goddamn fast. It's fast and it can stealth torp, unlike Minsk. Lazo, it's like a Shchors. You do one thing, you sit in the back and HE spam, and you suck. The second you have to close the distance, even DDs can citadel you. It's like a C tier, maybe. C tier cruiser. I think Shchors is basically the same. Honestly, they're basically the same. This thing just has spotter planes. Poltava. That's the really shitty SinOP, isn't it? Maybe C tier battleship? Why would you bring Poltava? What did Poltava do? It kind of just sucked, didn't it? It had standard dispersion instead of Soviet dispersion. It doesn't have overmatch. Yeah, it was just bad. SinOP, on the other hand, is easy S tier battleship. Easy S tier battleship. I mean, what do you need to say about SinOP? Cracked guns, cracked tankiness, you can run Kuznetsov on him. Like, fast DCP, Soviet DCP. SinOP is just easy S tier. The S stands for SinOP. Maass, that's pretty dog. It's kind of awkward because it doesn't have conceal yet. Maybe here. Maass has the worst conceal of the tier, while at the same time having less DPM than most of the ships, honestly. It has 107k DPM. Skåne has 20k more DPM. It's tanky. It's tanky. And it's got that armor that shatters HE, but generally when you play a DD, you want a DD that where you can kill other ships with. If your only thing you're good at is not dying, it's kind of like only a matter of time before you die. You don't get much. It's hard to carry with a ship that just doesn't fucking die. Did Maass even have armor? It didn't? If it doesn't even have any extra armor, then it's just mega dope. Oh, it still only had 16. Never mind. Okay, then it actually has... What's the Hydra on it? 4. 4 as well. Yeah, no, that's kind of suffering. That's kind of suffering. German smokes as well, which are trash. Z31 was the one with the armor. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay, that's easy. Z31. Z31 has armor, but has no damage. But at least Z31 has some tankiness. Z31 has the lowest DPM of any tier 7 destroyer. I think it's actually the DPM on the ship was like tier 1 cruiser levels. It was so shit. It does no damage. Basically does 0 damage. It has... Well, it's got a lot of health. The conceal isn't that good. Yeah, no. Z31 is pretty goddamn shit, honestly. Like, I think we're gonna put it... It might go here for survivability, but honestly, I'd probably rather play Maass so I can kill things. Z31 can work if you're fighting another DD, and he can't kill you and then your team helps you. But you're literally relying on your team to kill enemy destroyers. So that puts it in D tier. Any ship that relies on your team to carry your fucking ass is a shit ship. Z39. Now that thing was good. Z39 is the exception here. This thing had a lot of shit going for it, didn't it? Yeah, 150s. It could citadel cruisers and shit. It had 5km Hydra instead of 4km Hydra on the tech tree. Yeah, 5 km Hydra at this tier is fucking great. It's got good conceal as well. What the fuck? It's got... That's actually surprisingly good conceal. Let's put a concealment captain on it. 6.1 conceal. Handles well. 8.5 km torps that do 14-4. Yeah, well, there's not a whole lot of bad. It has no flak, sure, but besides that... 22k health as well. This thing is hilariously tanky. Oh yeah, and it has the tier 8 slot. That's what made it dumb. They gave it the tier 8 concealment slot. Yeah. Its big weakness, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. The damage is pretty shit like the DPM. And the DPM is pretty shit. It's like you dodgy levels of DPM. But it has a hilarious amount of health. And 5 km Hydra. I think it's gonna be pretty decent. And I think you could Citadel cruisers in this thing as well with these guns pretty easily. I think it's gonna be decent. It's not gonna be great, but it's gonna be pretty strong. Maybe we put Z39 at like a B tier. Somewhat annoying to deal with, but if you get a straight up gunfight with it, you're gonna shit on it in basically all gun modes. It has no damage output though, that's the problem. It has no damage output. Sid 39 is removed from shop. Oh, fair enough. It might even be A. It kind of depends on what kind of matchmaking you get. And how dumb the enemy team is. Do they push into your Hydra? If they push into your Hydra, then it's S tier. München. München was the shittier one. München is like C tier, I think. Weimar, on the other hand, that's going to be an easy A tier. That's going to be an easy A tier cruiser. Weimar. Weimar is the one with all the DPM. München was the 4x2. 4x2 guns, like literally does nothing. And has nothing going for it. It's just fast. Weimar though, yeah, this thing, 15% speed boost. Hydro 5.5, 12.8, no, this is without commander, really good conceal. 12 guns. Yeah, Weimar did all sorts of nasty things. The weakness was the range, but you had spotter plane and spotter plane mod for that. After the Weimar nerfs, München got more DPM. How much was it nerfed? Let's see. Oh, it does actually have more DPM. Weimar has got much bigger salvo weight, but München has 10k more HE DPM. Weimar has much faster shell travel time, though. Much faster shell travel time. München has better base range, though. It used to have 6-second reload. Oh yeah, shit, they nerfed that. But I think the speed still made it, like, really fucking good, didn't it? But is it better? 25 or matchable? München DPM is kind of an illusion. Yeah, it had the giga slow shells. That was the problem. How much slower were they? Let's see. Premium. München. Demo. Okay, there's some sick. Oh, the pen on Weimar is much better. Interesting. You can't hit shit over 15 km. I know Weimar is the superior ship. I'm just trying to figure out how much superior. Maybe Weimar isn't A tier anymore after those nerfs. Maybe it's B tier. I think it's still going to be a good ship. But do I think it's going to be as good as Helena and Atlanta? Probably not. I think B tier is fitting. I think B tier is fitting. York. York got the armor buff. York kind of shits on you if you don't have Overmatch. No joke. It has the YOLO torps. Decent conceal, but more importantly, this buff was cracked. 25mm plating nose. 25mm nose, which means if you don't have Overmatch, York takes like 0 damage. And it has the AP, the 210mm AP, which will shit on a lot of cruisers. York is like B, maybe. I think it's a B as well. Depends on what you're fighting. Depends on what you're fighting. The issue with York is, of course, the lack of DPM. It can farm you across the map quite efficiently because it has good range, but it doesn't really have much damage. That's really the problem. It's got good AP and stuff, but the HE damage output is off. Gneisenau? Probably B tier. It's a fast battleship. Might even be A tier. Gneisenau is one of the few ships that can shit on a SinOP. Maybe it's, I think it's actually A tier. Gneisenau is one of the few ships that can sit on a SinOP. Shit on a SinOP. It's not that good in randoms, but in ranked, it's hard to deal with. It's so tanky, it can brawl the shit out of you, and it's so fast. Gneisenau is no joke. It's quite hard to kill. Yeah, it really is now, and it's actually the fastest German battleship. Well, it's been the fastest for ages. I don't know if they changed that, if they released something broken, but like 33.6 knots just with flag is insane. Like, it's very fast, and the armor, icebreaker, 50mm deck, 45mm upper belt. It only has this part that are matchable. This thing comes charging at you with torpedoes ready. You're scared, and it's so goddamn fast. People tend to build it secondaries, which is of course a bit tragic because it doesn't have much secondary damage output. But if you just build it main guns and survivability, tough to deal with when it runs at you. Tough to deal with when it runs at you. Why is tier 5 ranked so shit? Because it's so... the balance is so poor. The balance is so poor in tier 5. Like, the premiums are so overpowered compared to the tech trees. And DDs are so powerful in tier 5 rank because cruisers have no tools, they have no proper hydros, they have no speed, they have no radars, battleships are slow, vulnerable. DDs are just hilariously overpowered at tier 5, honestly, especially if they're strong DDs. Heinrich? A tier? Probably easily. I really like the Heinrich. And I think it's just a very, very strong ship. I don't have it here. We need to open tech tree to get Heinrich. Heinrich guns, Heinrich secondaries, Heinrich torps, and of course, Heinrich has Hydro. 5k Hydro on a battleship. This alone makes it tough to deal with when Heinrich runs at you. Oh, it was actually one primary ship. That's why I didn't have it here. 4x2 380s, overmatch. This thing actually has the secondaries with the damage output and a lot of even much stronger torps than Gneisenau. Not as fast though, but still, Hydro makes it really tough to stop. And then the armor is very, very good. Might even be A tier. Oh, sorry, S tier. Because Heinrich can shit on SinOP as well. I don't know. Might even be S tier, honestly. I think it's better than Gneisenau. I think it's better than Gneisenau. It's better at range because the guns are better, and it's better in brawling because of Hydro. It has more flexibility. Gneisenau is a bit tankier, yes. But I think Heinrich has more flexibility, more options to it. I'm pretty sure Heinrich is S tier, honestly. I'm gonna put it S tier. It's very strong. Sonorov, thanks for the 29. Scharnhorst, oh, I love Scharnhorst, but man, is it even C? I guess maybe C. Might even be D tier. Scharnhorst kind of has nothing going for it. Scharnhorst is fun, but like, It hurts to put it down here, because it was one of my favorite ships, but man, that thing has been power crept to Kingdom Come. Feels bad. That thing has been so power crept. The guns don't do anything. Bias tells me it's C, but it's probably D. Yeah, I know. Honestly, I think it might honestly do. But I don't have the heart to put Scharnhorst in D, man. It hurts my soul to put Scharnhorst in D. It's a C tier for me. Charn is basically ignited now with Hydra. No, it didn't have Hydra. It did not have Hydra. If it had, that might help it. But it doesn't have Hydra. It just has shittier guns. And it's slower. It's gorgeous looking shit. I put it C tier because I have so many games in it. Look at the XP. Like how many games do we have on the EU in Scharnhorst? Dude, I used to love this thing. I played it so much. Where's our tier 7 Scharnhorst? Look at this. Look at this. 100 battles, 82 win rate. Oh my! I used to love this thing, but days have gone by. Days have gone by. No longer. Power creep has been too strong. Jervis. Is Jervis an S tier DD? Might be an S tier DD, honestly. It's like really fucking great. I think Haida is S though. Jervis is A. Jervis is probably strong A. Jervis is like really good. Jervis is really good. Belfast, easy S tier. So easy to play, but requires much more effort and consumables and things to counter. Easy S. For multiple reasons. Concealment, firepower, health, radar, hydro. Fiji, S tier. Only other cruiser I can put in S tier with Belfast is Fiji. Fiji, DPM, health, conceal, heal. It has heal and smoke and hydra at tier 7, which is just insanely good. Absolutely deserve it. It got nerfed. They nerfed the dick armor, but it was an irrelevant nerf. It's still very, very good. Surrey. Wow, this thing does like nothing. Honestly, D tier, I think. What does Surrey do? Die? Surrey has no DPM. He has no nothing. He has no range. He's got nothing. Heal then die. Yeah, no, honestly. Collingwood. That was the Nelson, right? That was the Nelson. Nelson is good, provided you never have to deal with the SinOP. It's a worse Nelson. Really? It's worse than a Nelson. Then it's probably C. Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. Duke of York. That's like... It's a Hydro, which is... Hydro actually makes Duke of York decent. I put it in B just for the Hydro alone. Duke of York is... Generally in randoms, it's much worse than KGB, but it actually is a battleship with Hydro, and for some reason, because it's not German, people forget it has Hydro. People forget it has Hydro, so it just crushes people with Hydro all the time, because people don't understand that a Royal Navy ship can have Hydro. And it's got improved pen angles on AP, sure, but I mean, it's still not a particularly good ship. But the Hydro puts it into B. You can't overmatch shit and you can't burn shit like KGB. Hood, it's tanky. It's very tanky, it can overmatch. I hate the gun performance though. And it handles like dog shit. I think I put it here for the tankiness, but... That's pretty much it. Thank you, Lakota Warden. KGB? I'm not sure if you put it in A or S. I don't think it quite deserves S, because it's very one-dimensional. It sucks if you have to push in, but when it comes to HE pressure, it's hilariously powerful. Thank you, Lakota Warden. The armor is shit. It can't push in and it can't brawl at all. But when it comes to like long-range pressure, HE pressure, the KGV is hilariously strong. Like, if a SinOP isn't SinOP tries to sit, nose in, and tank, and KGV starts farming it, that SinOP dies in like 3 minutes. Duke of York has the same HE as KGV? Yes, absolutely. They are identical in terms of gun caliber and gun performance. Well, Duke of York has improved AP angles. The difference is that Duke of York, in return for getting that improved pen angle, it actually gets a much worse reload. Duke of York reload, I think, was 30, whereas KGV reload is 25. So it's a huge DPM difference. Huge DPM difference. I think, let's see, let me see if we can find it here. Oh, here we go. Duke of York has 124k HE DPM. King George has 146k HE DPM. So 20% more DPM, basically. Oh, it's 29.5. Still, 20% more DPM. KGV with 20% more DPM is obviously quite significant. And I think there might have been... No, conceal was the same. Yeah. Nelson, well, Nelson is B tier, I would say. It's strong, but once again, same issues. It can't brawl. It can't brawl for shit. It can't brawl for shit. If you have to push into SinOP, you suck. If you have to push into Haida, you suck. Like, Nilsson's Citadel weakness is massive. It has the super heal, which means it can sustain at range very well. It can out-trade, out-heal other ships. But if you're forced to brawl, you just get blown out of the water. Rook. Rook I actually kind of liked. I actually kind of liked Rook. Isn't it pretty fast? 33.5 knots. Jesus. It's got the torps. It's got the 381s. How's the armor? Shit, though. Armor is shit. It's gonna suck at pushing in. Oh, and it's stealthy as hell as well. But I don't think it's gonna be... I think it might be quite strong. The armor is terrible, though. It's like probably gonna be an A-tier ship in hands. I think, did it have a Citadel? It might have had the Troll Citadel. Yeah, it didn't have the Troll Citadel? Yeah, you can't Citadel this thing. Look how deep underwater this Citadel is. See that? It's straight up under the water. You're never gonna sit this thing. Straight up. It's stealthy and it's impossible to Citadel. It will hit a lot of damage, but provided you can play around that. Yeah. Provided you can play around that, I think Rook is gonna be 8 here. Want to buy this Citadel in tier 8 and tier 9, right? Vaqualin. Oh, that thing is great. That thing is great. That's when you get your first reload booster. That's when you get your first reload booster. It suffers with... it's get 20% speed boost, so it's very reliant. But it gets reload booster. Seal isn't that good, but I think Vaqualin is going to be pretty goddamn good. Health pool isn't bad. 5 guns. The range and shell speed is tragic. Yeah, I remember that. I played it at some ranked season. Still, it's got 120k DPM without reload booster. When you pop reload booster, you got 180k, which gives you 17k more DPM than Mahan. 17k more DPM than Mahan. You're the highest DPM ship. And you're gonna be fast, and you're gonna be rushing down ships. Hmm. Yeah, no. Oh, it's 240. Oh yeah, it's a 50%. You're right, you're right. Cuts the reload in 50, which doubles the DPM. Jesus, that's actually insane. The ballistics are dog. Yeah, I remember. I have a video on the Decolin on my YouTube. But even then, in close quarters, this thing will shit on any destroyer it runs into. Probably A tier DD. Honestly, yeah. This thing is scary to deal with. Because it comes running at you with the speed boost. How are you going to deal with that? How fast is it exactly? 36? 36. Wait, hold on. 36 times speed boost. Oh, sorry, whoops. Whoops. Shit. What was it? 37.8 times. 45 knots. That thing comes running at you 45 knots. And you can run speed boost mode as well. 45 knots comes running at you with 240k HE DPM. You're gonna get blown out of the water real fast. It's not gonna be that easy to play, but this thing is gonna scale with hands, but it's scary. That's straight up scary. Okay, Algerie. That's pretty shit, honestly. The problem with Algerie, it's a long-range HE spammer. And oftentimes, in ranked, you don't want long-range HE spammers because you want ships that have an impact on the match early on. And having to rely on dealing damage over time to turn the game around is usually a terrible choice. That's why, for example, Yoshino is such a shit ship, and Zhao is, well, Zhao is better, but also a shit ship. But especially Yoshino is a shit ship, because Yoshino does one thing and one thing only. It sits in the back and it spams HE. So if you're bringing Yoshino to ranked, you're basically hoping that teams are going to stay even and no one's going to die, and you're going to get the farm in the back for 10 minutes straight. And that's not how the fucking ranked game works. In fact, usually it's early game influence that decides a match. So, decent ship for randoms, but for ranked, it's like C tier. It's better than Surrey, but like, it's just bad choice. Toulon I actually liked. Toulon I liked. Toulon I liked. This thing was very stealthy with the commander. Oh, this is the wrong commander, I think. No? Yeah, 10.1 conceal, 31.5 knots, 42.5k health. It had 305 guns on the schnoz. And what? It had speed boost 20%, so it's hella fast. It has a heal, 4 heals, and it has hydro. And it basically shits on other cruisers. I remember liking the Toulon. I think Toulon is going to be very good. It's going to burn to death, sure. And you're going to get overmatched, absolutely. But I feel like this one is going to do quite well. The reload is long. Like, the DPM is anemic, but it's tanky. It requires hands, though. I think this is like B tier cruiser. Could even be A, but I'm going to put it in B for now. Could even be A. Leon? Probably a solid B tier battleship. It kind of suffers from same issues, namely, it has a lot of HE's power, and it's got a lot of, I guess, long range power or mid range power, but you can't really push in and make a change with that thing. It's kind of shit at brawling. But it's fast. It has dumb armor, and it can put a lot of pressure on ships. People underestimate the HE on this thing. I think I've done over some 200k plus games just spamming HE and the Leon. Like, it had a pretty good fire chance, I think. What was it? It was, yeah, 28% fire chance, and you got 16 guns. So it's just super annoying to deal with. Third place with the dog, yeah, but the armor was like, the armor was fucking weird. I remember being frustrated as hell trying to deal damage to this thing. Where was the Citadel? Oh, it's literally not present. Yeah, good luck Citadeling this thing in a brawling situation. It's still not that good. But it's fast and annoying as hell. It's a really dumb ship. It's not C tier though, it's B. Strasbourg. Oh, Strasbourg. What the hell was a Strasbourg? 330. Oh, it was tier 7 Dunkirk? Oh, it gets overmatch, but it can't overmatch anything. That's reload booster, that. I don't remember if I like this thing. Reload booster is nice, but 330mm guns are shit. Pretty fast. Concealment is awful. Absolutely awful concealment. I don't think it's going to be particularly good. C or B. 330mm guns is just like... What do you don't overmatch anything. I don't see the point. FR25. What did it... It's Italian, which instantly makes me think it's shit. Okay, I don't even have it. Then it's probably really shit. Because if I didn't even bother buying it, then it's like giga shit. If I didn't buy it, then it has to be bad. Oh, it's got HE and SAP. But the SAP doesn't even do a lot of damage. The SAP is actually pretty bad. What's the speed? Does it have speed? 36 knots, not really. Concealment is okay. It has exhaust smoke and speed, 20% speed boost. It's a YOLO boat? Or does it have French torps since it's FR25? Yeah, it's got 6 km torps, 68 knot torps. YOLO boats. YOLO boats. I don't like YOLO boats in general. It's too much of a trying to trade one for one kind of situation. I don't know. Its concealment speed all looks decent, and exhaust smoke can give you opportunities. So I won't throw it in the bin in the C tier. I'll throw it in B. Hesitant B. The DPM is okay. The DPM is okay on it. 122k SAP DPM. It's Jervis levels of damage. You also have 4 guns, not 5. Oh, is the DPM value misleading? That happens often as well. Then it might actually be more of a C tier. Honestly, I generally want to throw a lot of Italian ships in the shit tier, because they tend to be underwhelming. What do I have next? Look at Tarigo. Didn't Tarigo do a fair bit of damage? I don't have that thing either. Didn't Tarigo have surprisingly good SAP DPM? .5 reload to 850 SAP DPM. 5-second exhaust. 38. It's hella fast. Hella fast. Hella fast. Torps are really underwhelming though. You can't YOLO anything with this. Are you kidding me? You land all 6 torps, you do 60k. With the torpedo belt, that's like 35-40k with saturation. So you can't YOLO anything. You're hoping the gun thing's down, I guess? 6.8 main battery. Oh, what is the range? 7.5. Wow. You're so limited in what you can do. You're so limited in what you can do. 7.5 base range? Ish. Like... C, honestly? I feel like you're too limited in what you can do. What are you supposed to do? You can't, you're like... You can't YOLO anything. You can outgun an enemy DD, sure. Provided you have someone spotting for you if you want to use your smoke. You have no range to deal anything. I don't get it. Like, the DPM is good. The SAP DPM is good. But you're so limited on what you can apply it to. The problem with SAP is, of course, as well, angling instantly shits on it. Abruzzi? Detail. Grazia. You have Hydro. But you're playing a Grazia. You have Hydro, though. I think it's gonna be a B tier. Grazia is better than the Zara for rank because of that. Zara is probably gonna be a C tier. They have 6-game Hydro Grazia. That's actually pretty good. Thank you, Montanaro. Was it 6-game Hydro, really? Shit, 6km. That's pretty spicy. 6km Hydro is pretty spicy. But good luck getting to use that with your fucking... what, 12km Conceal? 12km Conceal. Gigantic overmatchable nose and gigantic Citadel. Literally huge Citadel. Holy shit, it's all Citadel. 8 guns. 2 of 3, sure, but 8 guns. 15-second reload as well. No, I don't think I'm gonna move it any higher than this. You can use smoke plus hydro, yeah, but the second you shoot something, the second you shoot anything, you get blown out of the water. How do you disengage with this thing after shooting? Seems a bit sussy. That sounds like 1-for-1 gaming very much, if you ask me. Does it have any... What's the DPM like on it? SAP DPM. Grizia, 161k. That puts it roughly at München HE DPM, except you're shooting SAP, so you're not starting fires. Eesh. No, Zara... Caracciolo? What does Caracciolo do well? What does Caracciolo do well? Die? Miss. I remember fucking hating this thing. $54. The torpedo belt is pretty good. Oh, you didn't even get a smoke at this tier. Wow. Didn't even get a smoke. That's pretty rough. Armor is pretty nice, no Zen. Detectability isn't the end of the world. What kind of Citadel we're talking here? Waterline Citadel with what looks like an actual effective turtleback. Holy shit, it actually has a working turtleback? Is that legal? Wait, is this Citadel? Oh shit, oh god, okay, never... What the fuck? That's Citadel? Oh. Never mind. Okay. Well, that's kind of fucked. That's kind of fucked. Interesting. That's kind of fucked. I didn't remember that. That's kind of fucked. I mean, it's pretty tanky. And it can overmatch. But it's Italian. And it has no HE. Honestly, like a C tier. It's not a D, but like C tier maybe. Always found it easy to Citadel this one. Well, looking at that Citadel, I understand why. Gadjah Mada. Shit. I'm not sure if this one is S tier or A tier. Gadjah is so good. 360-degree turrets, fast reloading Pan-Asian smokes, cracked torpedoes. What's bad about Gadjah? You can't torp the enemy DDs. Sims is somehow in the same tier as Strasbourg and FR25. Sims is there because if you're the kind of fucking animal that brings a Sims to ranked, What you're actually trying to do is not win the game, you're trying to fucking save your star. So this is to discourage people being fucking animals and bringing that shit into my ranked games. Champon? What the hell do I do in a champon? We haven't played a champon. What's a DPM? Is it like Atlanta DPM? No. Where's the champon? There it is. 199k. Less DPM than Belfast. Interesting. Same DPM as Short. Boise, basically. Boise levels of DPM. 13.2 km range, though. Oof. 10.5 km deep water torps, though. That's pretty cracked. Jump on. Smoke. No Hydra, just defensive. And we has a torpedo reload booster. Interesting. So it's like a slightly worse... Slightly worse... Oops, where's that jump on? What happened? Oh. Where did our jump on go? Chat, where did jump on go? I tried to scroll and it lost it. Ah, there. Yeah, it's not A tier, but I guess it's gonna be B. With deep water torp, smoke, and the good DPM, you can probably do all sorts of things with it. Bliska? Oh, you poor power crept thing. D, probably. Honestly, Bliska is so shit these days. It's not in the same tier as Flint, isn't it? It's that much worse. It has basically a Leningrad, the Bliska. I guess we put it C. Skåne? No. D. Eendracht? No. D. Haida? Easiest S tier of my life. Easiest S tier of my life. Haida has, for some reason, like the third best DPM of all these cruisers or destroyers at this tier, while at the same time having the best concealment by 200 meters of all of them. And it handles like a god. It's got 8 km torps you can single launch. It's got its personal hydro, 3.5 km range, and it's got a crawling smoke that lasts for 2 minutes. Like if you play against a Haida that has any hands, unless you got someone to radar him out of a cap, you're just fucked. You can't fight him. And I mean, he's got, when you spec health on this thing as well, like 18k health, 5.7k conceal. Like, hello? What are these numbers? What are these numbers? Like, what do they mean, Mason? They mean bullshit. That's what they mean. So, yeah, Haida is easiest here. Easiest here. What was Huron? Huron was also a Haida. What's special about Huron, though? Speed boost. Heal. Healing Haida? Which much worse conceal. Much worse conceal. Much more reload, though. But Huron's conceal is 6.9 base. Wait, what kind of conceal do you end up with this? 6.2. That's pretty good, actually. 6.2 isn't that bad. With 4km Hydra as well. It has 137k HE DPM, slightly better than Haida, very slightly. Slightly better than Haida. Does it have better shell arcs? It does. Has some, actually quite significantly better. Interesting. What's the torps like? Same torps. It's pretty slow though. I don't remember if I played this thing. Probably not as strong as the Haida. This gives up the smoke, and the smoke is so goddamn powerful. But honestly, with heal? How long is 10-second heal? So it's not that big, but still. Heal, good health pull, good DPM, good conceal, good speed. Yeah, this is an easy A tier, I think. Easy A tier. Yukon? Wasn't that thing kind of a tragic? I think it was like, wasn't it mega tragic? C tier? I mean, it gets S tier for the amount of drama it's cost. It has the mega heal. Yeah, that's why it's C instead of D. Nueve de Julio is kinda here. That would probably be it. Probably be it. Nueve Solid B, yeah. Kind of like Boise, they're the same ship. Nueve is the war crimes version of that Boise. Wargaming made the Boise and they were like, how can we double dip on the ship? Let's take that one ship where they tortured political prisoners and sell it. And people were like, Wargaming, are you sure? And they were like, yep, we want money. And then we have the Nueve de Julio. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Like, not even joking, it's... Nueve de Julio is... Like, to put it into perspective, champ. From March 1976 and until at least December of that year, she was set up as a clandestine detention center. A number of cabins were converted into cells in which disappeared persons were temporarily held for periods ranging from days to months, while torture sessions took place at the headquarters of the Naval Establishment Police. At least one baby was born in captivity inside the ship, its fate remaining a mystery. It's literally the war crimes ship. So yeah, I'm not sure that's the ship I would have picked to make bank, but what do I know, man? What do I know? Probably wouldn't have been my choice. Probably wouldn't have been my choice.